right, Max Ralph, we're here at the Horseshoe, scene of a pretty solid 30 minutes for the Penn State team. It was the second 30 minutes that really kind of bit him in the backside. Ohio State pulled away. They were the more focused team in the second half. They had more playmakers on both sides of the ball. Different coach at Penn State, same result when it comes to Ohio State. They're now I think 1-11 in the last 12 meetings. It's really hard to win here. This is a good team. I have to say, there's a lot of things we can get to. I am very, very surprised, and I bet you that Terry Smith is extremely disappointed in the room he was coaching at the start of the year. The cornerbacks, I know those guys are good. Jim Ryan Smith and Tate are very good, but there were some plays out there where they just ran right by him like they didn't realize they were fast. And it's hard enough for this defense, this Penn State defense, which actually kind of stopped the run, to keep up with the better teams. But to have that happen, it was just they have to be very disappointed. I did not see that coming.
Yeah, the whole mantra all week was you just can't let those receiver get behind you. And
they didn't just get behind him. They were like 10 yards behind him.
And Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate both ended up with more than 100 yards. Julian Sayin went over 300 with 4 touchdowns. The defense was just shredded all day. Yes, they're good, but it's becoming very, very clear that on every play there's just a breakdown somewhere. We've heard that the pre-snap communication is all very smooth for Penn State, and obviously we've heard that Jim Knowles' defense has taken a little while to learn, but it's very clear that after the ball is snapped on every play, there's somebody on every play who is just failing at what they're supposed to do, and it really reared its head today because Ohio State, unlike some of the other teams on the schedule to this point for Penn State, has those guys who are going to make you pay for it, and Jeremiah Smith and Carnell Tate really, really made them pay for it a lot.
We heard from a very frustrated Amari Campbell after the game. If anyone has a right to be frustrated on this defense, it's probably Amari. He almost never, and I mean never, comes off the field. And he made it quite clear, Max, that it was not the mistakes that were being made were not mental breakdowns.
Correct.
And that when a player says that, it speaks volumes about maybe the effort and also the just what when you get the right call and you're in the right defense, you can make the same mistake over and over again.
Right.
It's on the players. It's not on Jim Knowles. It's not on the position coaches. We saw Poindexter chewing out his guys early in this game. Anthony Poindexter, the safeties coach. This is gonna get worse before it gets better because a lot of these guys are veterans.
Yeah. Well, and to your point with Amari, who has been incredible this season, I think Tony Rojas getting hurt was really detrimental to what this defense did as a whole, but especially Amari Campbell because his job became so much harder without Rojas on the field. He's a great leader, and as the guy who wears the green dot, he's making all the pre-snap play calls, doing all that kind of stuff. And I asked him straight up, like, hey, is this something that's happening pre-snap? Are you guys confused? And he said, no. All these breakdowns are happening post-snap. If the offense motions, if they make some different route scheme, whatever, somebody is breaking down. And like you said, every right to be frustrated. And also, like you said, this can only get worse, right? Because Ohio State is the game where even if your season is not going the way you want it to, you're probably going to be hyped to play it, right? Because it's your rival, somebody you haven't beaten in now 9 years. And now it's just, what is there left to play for?
The other thing that became even more obvious today when you look at the Ohio State offense and you look at the Penn State offense, Ohio State's got playmakers.
Yes.
Penn State,
all over.
I would argue that Penn State doesn't really have a true player that scares anyone on the defense. Katron Allen is a good player, but you feed Katron, at the end of the day, he's going to have close to 80 to 100 yards even against. But there's just no skilled player on this team scares a legit defense or even a not legit and you know what I mean. There's been some defenses that have come in here like UCLA and really it was 27-7 at halftime. It's a problem. It's not going to get any better. Katron Allen is a very good player, but there's just no. Last year they had Tyler Warren, you know what I mean, and that opened everything up. There's just no one close to him on this offense. And moving forward, it's difficult to see somebody emerging. They keep talking about the young wideouts, but we just don't see enough of them.
Yeah, they hardly played today. I'll push back on your point with Katron Allen just a little bit. I do think that he is a true playmaker, but
he doesn't scare
you. You have to have a true playmaker, a scary playmaker in the passing game, because with the way Penn State's offense is this year, Katron Allen, you can just defend against him in the run game over and over and over if your secondary is going to be able to win in one-on-one coverage the entire day. And with a backup quarterback, again, Ethan Grunkelmeyer handled the environment pretty well, but there is no efficiency, there's no success down the field, and it's really bad. And in order for it to get better moving forward, whoever the next Penn State head coach is really going to have to hit the transfer portal hard.
3-0 has become 3-5. It's about to become probably 3-6 with Indiana coming into Beaver Stadium next week. You wonder about the morale. It's one thing to fight, but it did look like there were some discouraged players once the lead started to get away. And this is a team. We're talking about a team that was number 2 in the country about 6 weeks ago, and now they have tied the 2020 team that started. They lost 5 in a row to start that year. It was the COVID year. But I don't think there's much of a silver lining to this effort for 30 minutes. And I think, quite honestly, we're looking at a 4-8 team, quite honestly, unless some players start to get more focused and they can kind of get a little bit better. I just don't know where the answers are on offense.
If they're not
there. If the only plan is, look, Katron's going to get it 25 times and hopefully he can wear out the other team. If they fall behind, they're cooked.
Right. Penn State went to how many 7 offensive linemen formations today? It was kind of just a surrender that we know we can't throw the ball against you, and that's not good enough. And I think it's going to be 4-8. You feel for a few of the seniors. I do think there was some quit, I thought, today out there in the second half, midway through that third quarter. Guys are just getting shoved around on the defensive line. Things are only going to get uglier. Absolutely.